Comfort feels like safety. The same routine, the same easy chair, the same gentle avoidance of anything hard or challenging. But here's the uncomfortable truth I owe you as your coach. The comfort zone isn't protecting you. After 45, quietly aging you slowly, daily, weekly. And the way out is simpler and kinder than you fear.
You're listening to the Real Longevity Podcast, your number one podcast resource for living a longer life. Here we discuss topics on personal fitness, longevity, and real lasting elevation of mind, body, and spirit. Join us as we build a community of healthy men and women enjoying lasting levels of real health and vitality. If you're currently feeling frustrated with pain, flat, or fed up with aging faster than you actually are, you're invited to join us each and every week here on the Real Longevity Podcast. Welcome to the Real Longevity family and get ready to live a life you truly love.
Welcome to the Real Longevity Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and today we have another outstanding, informative, and elevating show for you. I'd like to welcome all first-time listeners to the podcast, and be sure to stay to the end of the show where I'll be sharing all my social media links where you can connect with me and the Real Longevity Podcast community, which down to you and thanks to you is continued to grow. Welcome. Thank you for joining me here for another uplifting, inspiring, and informative episode for you. Now, your body and your brain run on a simple rule, and that rule is use it or lose it. Muscles that never change, we know, if they're not challenged, they're not worked, they're not tested, they waste away. And a mind is exactly the same thing. A mind that is never stretched, it dulls. Resilience that never gets tested or challenged fades. The comfort zone is the danger here, and comfort sends a very simple system and signal to the body saying everything's fine. We don't need this anymore. It's fine. The body can waste it away. And the body, ever efficient, that what it does, it obliges, it takes note and says, right, well, we're not using that, we're not being challenged. Why do we need it? We'll just let it go. A small regular dose of doing the right kind of uncomfortable or discomfort or challenging things is how you signal and tell your body to keep you in the game, to keep you still going, to keep those muscles, that mind still activated. And this is what we're talking about today. Comfortable is costing you. 3 ways to leave your comfort zone that's quietly aging you. Comfortable is costing you. 3 ways you can change and leave the comfort zone that is quietly aging you. Now, I'm not going to say that I've not been there. We've all been there, myself included. Even as a coach, I've sat in the chair and I've lost and I've felt, that burnout. I felt, oh, what's the point? Comfort zone was a place to hide. And I dressed it up, like many people do, as rest or time to recover. But hiding and healing when you're resting are different things. The day I prescribe myself a little bit of honest discomfort, and I'm hopefully doing that with you today, is being hard, but maybe being a bit harsh, but telling you the truth from a place of love. Hard walk it was for me, or a real conversation, a real honest home truth, a new fresh challenge. That was the day I started coming back to life. So I mentioned before about this podcast, for example. One of the things I wanted to do was reach more people, help more people, live a long, healthy, active, vital life. But that meant looking at my current lifestyle and my work style and my work-life balance, if you want to call it that. So last year, I made this decision to cut down on some hours I was working for an organization I'm still working with now, but that gave me the freed up some time so I could
Losing strength,
dedicate
energy, and vitality
to
after 45
delivering
can
this
cost you
podcast to a
years,
higher
not
number of
just
people
months.
and to a
You'll face
higher
slower
quality.
recovery,
Now, if I didn't
stubborn
have had
belly
that
fat,
honest
crashing
conversation with me
energy,
and I
and
continued
mornings that start
working full time, trying to cram the podcast in an evening, not having a dedicated space to record the podcast, things wouldn't have taken off the way they have in the last 6 months. So having an honest conversation can seem a bit daunting, and that's why we don't do it, because it can be a bit harsh when we're speaking to ourselves truthfully, but it's what we need to do, especially if we want to change, improve, progress, uplift, upskill. We need to be completely honest with ourselves and get out of that comfort zone. Now, prescribed a little bit of discomfort, they can all move us forward. So these are the things that we need to consider when it comes to being honest with ourselves and getting out of the comfort zone. So I'm going to share with you now 3 things that you can do that's going to help you move from being in that comfort zone, get back into challenging yourself. But as you challenge yourself, you're creating, you're telling the body, I need to build, I need to work, I need to improve. So number 1, prescribe a little discomfort. So that could be something as simple as getting the flight of stairs to the top of the office instead of catching a lift. That could be taking a little jog up the hill instead of walking. It could be adding an extra set or reducing your recovery time. It could be something like taking a cold shower that's going to help with any inflammation issues or pain issues that you might have. Small, deliberate stress builds confidence and builds strength over time. Don't have to be anything major. I'm not asking you to do anything super awkward or super difficult. We're talking about a little bit of discomfort here. So what is it you're doing at the moment that you know you can do with your eyes closed? You can do with ease. It's not really a challenge. How can you make that a little bit more challenging and signal to the body, yep, I need to work here, I need to think here, I need to recruit, I need to do something that's going to stimulate and tell my central nervous system we're at work, we're about out of our comfort zone, we need to produce here. What can that be for you? That's step number 1, prescribe a little discomfort. Number 2, seek novelty on purpose. What is it that you can do that's different to what you've been doing previously? You've been in a mode of exercise, which is fantastic, or you may be in a mode of exercise, but you've always done the same class. Could you try a new class? Could you try a new route when you're going out for your walk, or a new routine when you're doing your fitness exercises? What about a new skill? I was speaking to one of my clients recently, and she was informing me how she read something similar, how novelty has many beneficial and ripple effects in terms of our general health and our well-being. And she started brushing her teeth with a non-dominant hand. So it's something very simple, something when you think about it, it's not a big deal. But the fact that you're holding the toothbrush in a non-dominant hand is signaling to the brain that something different is going on, and it's creating new synapses in the brain, telling the brain what's going on here, challenging the brain in a slightly different way. It doesn't have to be anything major, but what could you do that is creating novelty in your daily life or in your week, in your working week? What is it that you can do? Novelty keeps the brain plastic. It keeps it fluid. It keeps it developing. It keeps it on point, challenging, getting it to think. Keeps you young. So seek novelty.
Losing strength, energy, and vitality after 45 can cost you years, not just months. You'll face slower recovery, stubborn belly fat, crashing energy, and mornings that start with pain and stiffness instead of strength. And fixing it the old way means expensive personal trainers who don't understand older bodies like yours, or generic programs done by ChatGPT, leading to endless trial and error with no real guidance or support. That stops today. Introducing the Core Build Accelerator System, the holistic, science-based coaching program designed to help men and women like you over 45 rebuild strength, energy, longevity, and confidence using the proven, real framework. Here's how simple it is. Step 1. Clarity. A full assessment helps you to understand where your body and habits stand right now. Step 2. Optimize. Your personalized plan aligns nutrition, movement, and mindset around what actually works after 45. Step 3. Rest and recovery. You're guided on how to recover properly so your body rebuilds and heals instead of breaking down and normalizing stress and struggle. Step 4. Exercise efficiently. Targeted, time-smart training that builds real strength without wrecking your joints or your schedule and being dependent on the gym. But here's what makes CBAS different. This isn't a generic plan you follow alone. It's real coaching, real accountability, and a community of people over 45 doing this together. No confusing science, no crash diets, no burnout and intense gym workouts. Just a clear, proven path back to strength. Start your transformation today for less than the cost of a single personal training session a week. No long contracts, no pressure. Visit thriveafter40withmike.com or visit the link in the show notes to claim your spot today and take advantage of the early bird discount until the 31st of July. The only thing you have to lose is unwanted aches and pains, and another year of feeling like this is just what getting older means.
The third thing that I'm encouraging you to consider is have that hard conversation. Now, you're the one who knows that hard conversation is. It could be with that person that you love dearly. That could be your children. It could be your wife, husband, could be a colleague at work. But often that hard conversation is ourselves. And we avoid that because we know that we're going to have to be straight, maybe see ourselves make some changes. Who is it that you need to have that hard conversation with? Now, when you do this, you're developing emotional courage, and that is a longevity skill. If you're someone who is listening to the podcast, like everyone who I speak to over the age of 45, 50, they want to live longer well. If you think about emotional maturity, your ability to engage with people, emotional courage is something you need to develop. When you hold back and keep things in, it weighs heavily and it strains the body and it causes stress. So we don't want, and we spoke about this in previous episodes, to be in a position where we're having undue, unnecessary stress placed on us, both physically and mentally. We know that stress can offer benefits, but if you're holding something back because you've got something that you really want to get off your chest, you want to share this with a person or even yourself, you need to do it. So I'm encouraging you to seek that courage, develop that longevity skill, which is emotional courage, emotional maturation. Seek that conversation. Growth and discomfort can occupy the same place. You can't have two masters. You can't sit in two chairs at once. You don't need to blow up your life. That's what I'm not asking you to do that right here. You just need to deliberately and regularly introduce a little bit of discomfort into your life, a little bit of a challenge. That's where vitality, growth, and if I'm being honest with you, fulfillment lives. If you take something on that's challenging, take something on that's a task and you complete it, you immediately get a sense of fulfillment, of achievement. And that's really positive and sends a signal consciously and subconsciously that you're doing the right thing. That's where you start to feel alive again. So that's my encouragement to you. Think about those 3 steps that you can. Have that hard conversation, even if it's with yourself. Seek novelty on purpose. Do something unique each week. And take that extra step to seek a little prescribed discomfort. Not anything major, just something that's going to challenge you bigger than it normally would. Stepping out of your comfort zone is far easier with people beside you and a specific proven plan to follow. That's exactly what the Core Build Accelerator system offers. Structured supported challenge at a pace for you and where your body is right now. Also, the bonus is with a community that cheers you on, that has your back. If you're ready to trade the comfort zone and stop fading, and you want to start being challenged and start thriving, I'm encouraging you to apply for our next cohort, which starts in September. The doors are open now, and you can take advantage of the early bird offer until August. There is a link in the show notes. Why not go check it out? Because I strongly believe by investing time, energy, and effort in yourself right now, the rest of the year of 2026 will be like no other. I strongly believe that. Okay, that is it today, my friend. I trust you found today's episode insightful, uplifting, and informative. I'm encouraging you again. Thank you for sharing this podcast with your connections and your community. And if you haven't left us a 5-star review, it would really help the show out. So if I can ask you to do that, tell people, because it helps us to spread the word of what we're doing over here on the Real Longevity Podcast. Okay, until next time, my friend, be well, be wise, be cool, be calm, and keep it real. Blessings and chi. Peace.